I'm Robin Birkin, an ex-corporate marketer turned online business owner. I took everything I knew and created a six-figure life coaching business in the margins between nap times and a 9 to 5, and I'm here to share with you how you can do the same. Tune in as I share the raw and unfiltered truths, big lessons, and practical tips to help you build and grow a sustainable bread-winning business online that is both peaceful and profitable. Here, we dive deep into all things online courses, funnels, audience growth, and so much more. If that sounds like the things you want to learn, then welcome to Signature Online Course Secrets. Let's go.
Hi, and welcome to Signature Online Course Secrets. I feel like the last couple of weeks I have been in a hole of just really looking to create and launch and finish, although are they ever finished, these new funnels that we have in the business. So if you circle a few episodes back, I speak to shifting our launch/intake model just slightly in the Peace and Profit Mastermind, in that one of the things that we'll be doing is launching several lower ticket items. One of the things, if you go even further back in the podcast, you'll note that I launched an episode that was all about like what's in, what's out, business trends for 2025. And I do sense the desire for people in the market to essentially be able to try before they buy and have this kind of binge-worthy ability to scope someone out before they buy. So obviously I have the podcast. Almost every single person who joins our mastermind has binged this podcast, very gratefully, thank you. But there is really this ability to have some quick wins with someone before purchasing their program, specifically a high ticket program like the Peace and Profit Mastermind. So I have been deep in the trenches, and I'm one of those people, and I know that there are other people like me too, who really struggle to context switch when they're in deep creation mode. Today is the day that I wish to finalize the things, launch a shop in the business. So if you are listening to this podcast, it likely exists, and you can go to launcheasylife.com/shop and find out about some of the mini ways that I can support you right now in your business, from getting more leads to helping life and juggle and schedules and all of those things feel more in flow. And also to just let you know that we are going to be opening the waitlist applications for the Peace and Profit Mastermind on the 1st of May. Applications will not open until a little bit later, but there is a really worthwhile incentive for you to be on the wait list for the Peace and Profit Mastermind for our next intake. So our next intake begins on the 1st of June. If you're in Australia and you want to claim some of your expenses, then great time to do that before end of financial year, because obviously working with me, regardless of where you are in the world, is a tax deduction. So we are opening the wait list on the 1st of May, just to people who are on the wait list. We have a limited number of spaces. We are capped probably till the end of this year at 20 people. And so if that's something that you would like to consider, if you'd like to learn more, if you're on the fence and you're like, I just want to learn all of the details, absolutely make sure you put your name down on the wait list. There is no obligation for you to join, nor a guarantee that you will receive a place, because we want to make sure that it's the right fit for both of us and we can get you the results that you would like. So pop your name down and make sure your name is down there, because we may well sell out of all of the places before we reach the public opening for doors for the mastermind. As much as I would love to be like, yeah, cool, I want 50 or 100 people in the mastermind, I pride myself on really going deep with people in their businesses, particularly in our audits and our intake for the mastermind. It also includes some one-to-one time, so that's where really I am limiting the capacity that we have for the mastermind, because the other thing that I really pride myself on is not really palming you off to any support coaches. Me, if you sign up for my program, I really want to deliver that experience with me. So if you head to the show notes below, that's where you will see a link to our new shop and also a link to be able to put your name down on the mastermind waitlist. So even if you're curious, even if you just want more information, even if you just basically want the opportunity to put your hat in the ring before or if we go public, then definitely make sure your name is on the wait list. So one of the things that I do in business, and honestly, I speak to this in mastermind calls, in one-to-one calls all of the time, that one of the things that I have inevitably ended up doing in business is being someone who culls people's offer suites and culls people's messaging. I never thought that this would be something that I do. And not everything is about, when I talk to having a signature offer, I actually don't mean that you will have one offer only forever in your business. That's actually not what I do. So one of the things that we typically do that is massive for profit in business is have like back end offers or secret offers. So this is where sometimes it's really hard to funnel hack competitors. It's also really hard to see the success of a competitor from looking from the outside in, because someone could have so many followers and really not have a lot of revenue whatsoever. But one of the things that we do is, we might look at back end revenue, really simple, low lift ways that you can increase your revenue quite significantly in your business. And that might be like picking up an extra 30%. So think of to what your revenue is now. And what would it look like to add another 30% on top of that? So if you're at 100 grand, what would it look like to actually have 130 grand in your business? So I don't just rely on one signature offer. The business model that I teach promotes having one hero front-facing signature offer. Having that deliver 60 to 70% of your revenue, and then picking up revenue on the back end, like really low lift revenue. Imagine adding 30 grand to your revenue without launches, without any kind of big fanfare or huge amounts of work or having to support like another community. It gets to be really easy when you do it really strategically. Once both of those things are in play, like level 3, if this is a video game, sorry, I keep hiccuping. Level number 3 is then you can look at feeder funnels. I'm in level 3 at the moment. We looked at the mastermind. We filled that to the capacity that I desired. Then I really worked on that back end profitability and offers, made sure that was working really, really well. And then now stage 3 is to look at, okay, what do we play with in terms of the intake of the business? And step 3 is a very optional step, but it is something that I have wanted to play around with and experiment, because I also see myself as a kind of a guinea pig. I need to really intimately know what it is that I'm teaching. I've done it before. I did it, I had feeder funnels in my last business as well. And so that's sort of the level that I'm at the moment, but it's also completely an optional level. You really don't need it. I don't need to have this in my business, which kind of leads me into what I'm about to speak to next, which is that a lot of us, I think, in business, me at times included, and this is why it's taken me like a year and a half, 2 years to say, okay, let's release some lower ticket offers, is that I feel like a lot of people are addicted to the dopamine of doing in business. We get really itchy. We start changing things up prematurely. We get addicted to launching new offers, changing our niche, changing our business model, when actually all we need to do is settle into the business model that we have. And I see it all the time. I especially see it in business owners who are at like that $100,000 to $250,000 mark, when actually what you should be doing is culling offers that you then start to just say, okay, well, now I'm going to launch a membership. Well, there's this gap in the market of this one thing that I'm not teaching. I really need to appeal to this audience. And the number of times I have tempered myself from getting caught in that trap is unbelievable. And when I speak to people, they're like, how do you run a multi-six-figure business with, my signature program is actually really quite high touch. How do you do that in 16 hours per week? And one of the biggest secrets that I have is I really consciously try to steer myself away from mindlessly creating new offers and always trying to serve everyone in the market. And one of the things that I think too in my business is sometimes I'm like, no, I consciously say no to some revenue in order to maximize other revenue. And I think that we forget sometimes that actually the whole reason we went into entrepreneurship is because we wanted to have a more peaceful and more spacious and more profitable life. We wanted to spend more time with our kids. We wanted to be the one that took our kids to school or back from school every day. And yet, here you are trying to create all of these new little offers and complexity in your funnel, when sometimes it gets to be actually really, really simple. One of the biggest things I do, so when someone joins the mastermind, we put together what I call a Sweet Six audit. It's an audit of your business. Here's what I think we need to do. Here's how many units we need to sell. Here's the messaging. Sometimes I'm adding offers. Typically what I'm doing is adding premium offers and taking away less, like lower ticket offers. But one of the things I most commonly do is just simplify everything. And so today's episode, there is no big call to action. There's no framework, but it is a simple call to, if you want a peaceful and profitable business, really looking at what I call peace and profit decisions. When you get tempted by, this person built her business all organically, or this person created $1 million business with all of these different $67 offers. I mean, we all romanticize different types of business models and things like that. But if you have a signature offer created, if that converts well, what is the easiest, fastest, and most probable way to, let's say, double your revenue in that business without adding more offers? Usually the answer isn't to create all of these new things. Usually the solution is to double down on that signature offer, to make sure your launches are doing well in that offer, to make sure that you are converting at the level that you should. No, you don't need to create a new webinar. If the webinar that you have converts well, you might just need to get more people into that webinar, right? You might just need to use some ads to get people into your lead magnet and converting well. And I feel like often we're always chasing the next social media platform, creating new offers, changing the business model. I've got to be accessible. I need to launch a membership. Usually you don't. You don't need to change niche. You don't need to expand your audience. Typically what you need to do is just double down on what you already have. And so before you create new offers, ensuring that your signature offer is converting the way that you want it to. Looking at what is the fastest, easiest, and most probable route to the goals that I have, and knowing that the goals that you have are typically related to the lifestyle that you want. And so calling yourself back to simplicity and what it might look like for that to be simple and easy. And I promise it really does get to be that. That's what I spent, as uncomfortable as it was at times. That's what I spent all of last year and the 4 months prior to that doing, was doubling down on one offer, refining and iterating and iterating and iterating the messaging of that offer, looking at my, for example, my webinars and saying, okay, how could I add 200 people to this next webinar? How could I add 300 people to this next webinar? And really just looking at how do I just inch better and better and better without recreating the wheel all the time, without creating new offers and doing all of these things. And it's only now that I feel like I'm in this era when everything is stabilized, when I have recurring revenue secured into the business into, right up until into 2026 in the business. Now I'm in this era where I can say, okay, I get to play, I get to do something different. However, noting that it's also in the interest of just doubling down into the conversions of this program as well. So food for thought today in the business. If you feel like you're getting itchy, if you feel like this call to be multi-passionate, if you feel the call to shift your business model, what would it look like to actually just double down for 18 months and settle in and allow your business to be really boring and repetitive, and allow yourself to step out of doing. Go for a walk every day. Make it chill. What would that look like to you? And would that actually fulfill you more than being in constant creation mode and doing mode in your business? That's the food for thought on today's episode. Have the best day. Bye.
Another episode on the books. If you'd like to continue the conversation and get more super saveable tips, come and find me on Instagram at Robin Birkin. Otherwise, make sure you're subscribed, and I can't wait to see you next week.